Hi, my name is Jake Bossenkemper, Director of Agronomy and Research here at Liqui-Grow.
And I'm Phil Long, a regional agronomist here at Liqui-Grow.
Phil, we just can't get this Iowa weather figured out. A couple days ago, it was short sleeve weather. Could have had my shorts on. I didn't, of course, but I could have. Now it's like you want to put your hands in your pockets because we got a little bit of wind and it's chilly again this morning.
Sorry, I just imagine you in shorts.
I always wear jeans at all county fairs. Doesn't matter how hot or cold it is. Even in Missouri, when it's 105, I wear jeans.
Well, you look pretty silly wearing your cowboy boots and shorts, don't you?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Never seen you in shorts.
Now we know why.
Yeah. But yeah, this is pretty chilly this morning. But yeah, it's been really warm.
Yeah.
Warm and windy, which is ideal.
Yeah.
But we're obviously on my side of the territory right now doing the plots, and it's been, I would say, abnormally dry even for spring, and that hot wind and everything has just kept it really dry, especially in this part of the area. So definitely drier than your area.
Yeah, definitely drier than my area, and that's kind of what we wanted to talk about this morning. Once again, we've got the tale of two different environments in a very short distance relative to distance. Down in my geography, which is southeast Iowa and northwest Illinois, we're wet. I haven't looked up the numbers. I wouldn't say we're historically wet, but we're definitely wetter than we've been the last multiple springs. And the soil is definitely full. There's definitely ponding in areas. And what we really want to talk about, Phil, is the impacts on nitrogen management, and nitrogen loss kind of in these contrasting environments. Okay?
Yeah, every year it seems like this topic comes up. We're still early in spring, obviously, in terms of planting. But yeah, the moisture and getting that nitrogen down now, what's going to happen and what's the situation.
Yeah, so what I really want to talk about is I want to talk about nitrogen loss, okay? And so, there's definitely some conditions down there for nitrogen loss, leaching, denitrification specifically. And I want to talk in a little bit more detail about that. So in a dry year, let's say we're in a dry year, let's say we're in your environment. When the soil profile isn't already full, you don't have to be quite as worried about nitrogen loss, okay? But when the soil profile is full, any additional rain really has a large and dramatic impact on denitrification and leaching. And I'm going to explain that here, okay? So we like to have about a third soil, a third oxygen, and a third water in the soil. That's kind of the ideal conditions, all right? But as you continue to get rain and the soil profile is very full, you have a larger amount of water than air, okay? And that means you have less oxygen. And we all know that denitrification happens when the soil is devoid of oxygen, okay? And so when you have denitrification, the nitrate that's in the soil can basically turn into nitrous oxide or dinitrogen gas. And that's done, it's a bacterial mediated process. So when you go into the season and the soil profile is full and there's less oxygen than normal, any additional rain is just detrimental. When there wasn't any oxygen to begin with, there's definitely not any more oxygen when you get more rain. You're pushing that oxygen out of the soil, okay? So that's probably a little bit complex, but I just want to say that when the soil profile is already full, any additional rain that you get exacerbates in-loss from denitrification. The same exact thing happens with leaching too, Phil, because, and I know you know, but when the soil's full, you're draining water freely because the soil cannot hold on anymore. That's either draining down or overland flow. And we all know that nitrate moves with water. So when the soil's already full, any additional rain you get, it's being leached or it's being lost via overland flow, okay? So what about in your geography?
Yeah, well, in my geography, obviously we've been warmer, drier, not warmer probably, but drier for sure. Started out drier. If you look at the drought monitor, you guys have gotten better, and it's probably going to get worse on the western side. But yeah, it's definitely drier. And one of the concerns for that is if we're putting it on top, and it depends on your tillage situation. If we're incorporating it quickly, it's not a huge issue. But when we put UAN on the top, obviously part of that is urea. So there is potential for loss to urea hydrolysis, or once we go through that process, we lose it from volatilization. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So that's that can potentially be a concern, and it's a bigger concern when we have more residue laying on the surface. So if you're in that situation, and that's why we're sitting here right now, obviously, even if you have corn in the ground, it's not up and growing yet. And even if it is coming up, it's not using much nitrogen right now. It's using what's in the seed and so forth. And so we need to keep that nitrogen around.
Yeah. So this is what makes agronomy and crop management so complicated. In my environment this year, we're much more concerned about denitrification and leaching. In your environment, because the soil has plenty of room to hold more water, denitrification and leaching shouldn't be as big a concern, but ammonia volatilization might be a bigger concern from urea applied to the soil surface, UAN, or straight urea, okay? So with that, Phil, we probably better cut her off, and thanks for watching. We're obviously in the middle of planting here, and we're gonna keep going. Thank you.
Thanks.
Stay in the know with Liqui-Grow.